Dear students, welcome to a new session of Bio Prime Points. In today's class, we are going to discuss the second chapter of Plus 2 Biology, namely Human Reproduction. So this chapter is divided into two sections, Part 1 and Part 2. The Part 1 comprises of the structures of the reproductive system, and the Part 2 comprises of the functions of the reproductive system. Okay, now we are moving on to the first section of the human reproduction. So the first prime point, testis. You know that testis is the primary sex organ in male organisms, male human beings. It is a primary sex organ. Even though the testes are formed inside the abdominal cavity, at the time of delivery of the child, the testis will be coming out of the abdominal cavity through canals called inguinal canals. And testis then placed inside scrotal sacs. Hence, the testes are considered to be extra-abdominal. We can draw like this. Suppose this is the abdominal cavity, and testes are produced inside the lower abdominal cavity. That area is called pelvis region. And during the time of delivery, what happens is that both the testes will come out of the abdominal cavity through canals called inguinal canals and placed outside the abdominal cavity in sac-like structures. The structures are called scrotum. Why this happens? So inside the abdominal cavity, a particular temperature, body temperature is there. At that temperature, the testis will not be able to produce sperms. For spermatogenesis, a lower temperature is needed so that the testes are placed outside the abdominal cavity. So as far as the position is concerned, they are considered to be extra-abdominal. They are placed inside the scrotal sacs. So the temperature inside the scrotal sac will be around 2 to 2.5 degrees centigrade lower than the temperature of the abdominal cavity, and that temperature will be favorable or optimum for spermatogenesis to take place. So extra-abdominal position and are situated within scrotum in order to provide a lower temperature. Then the measurements of testis. Each testis, the width 2 to 3 centimeter, the length 4 to 5 centimeter, and inside the testis there will be around 250 compartments, and these compartments are called testicular lobules. Testicular lobules are the compartments present inside each testis. One testis comprises of around 250 small chambers. And within this chamber, you can see very minute tubules are there. 1 to 3 tubules may be there, and these tubules are called seminiferous tubules. Suppose this is testis, and inside the testis large numbers of chambers are there, and these chambers are called testicular lobules, and it is inside this testicular lobule that the seminiferous tubules are present. So seminiferous tubules are very minute tubules. When we are taking the cross section of a seminiferous tubule, this is a seminiferous tubule cross section. The wall of the seminiferous tubule is made by a peculiar type of cells, and these cells are called primordial germ cells. And the primordial germ cells are cuboidal in nature, cube-like in nature, and they produce the sperms. And these are called male germ cells or primordial germ cells. And some of the cells are elongated and projecting into the lumen of the seminiferous tubule, and these elongated columnar cells are called Sertoli cells. These are the Sertoli cells, and the Sertoli cells are providing nourishment to the developing sperms. So the Sertoli cells are otherwise called nurse cells. Okay, the structural units are called seminiferous tubules, which are found inside which the sperms are produced. The seminiferous tubules are lined by two types of cells, namely male germ cells, which form sperms, and Sertoli cells, which provide nourishment. You can see the male germ cells are cuboidal, cube-like in shape. They are diploid. Sertoli cells are elongated, columnar in shape. They are also diploid. The non-productive cells are the Sertoli cells. They are unable to produce sperms, but they provide nourishment to the sperms. Then This is one seminiferous tubule, this is another seminiferous tubule, this is another seminiferous tubule. So in between the seminiferous tubules, some specialized cells are there. That means these cells are seen outside the seminiferous tubule, and those cells are called Leydig cells, or they are also called interstitial cells. And the Leydig cells are specialized in that they are the endocrine centers of testis, and they produce male sex hormone called androgen. Androgen is the hormone produced by the Leydig cells. So as far as the testis is concerned, three types of cells. The sperm producing cells are called male germ cells, the nourishing cells are called Sertoli cells, and these two are present in the wall of the seminiferous tubule. So in between adjacent seminiferous tubule, in the interstitial space, some scattered cells are there, and these cells are called interstitial cells or Leydig cells. They are the hormone secreting centers. Okay. Now the next prime point, ovary. Just like testes in males, ovaries are the primary sex organs in females. They are the primary sex organ in female. But the testes, we already know that the testes, even though they are produced inside the pelvic region of the abdominal cavity, they are placed outside the abdomen, so they are called extra-abdominal. But the ovaries, they are produced inside the abdominal cavity and they are placed inside the abdominal cavity itself. So they are abdominal in position. And they produce ovum, that is a female gamete, and the ovarian hormones, the female sex hormones. Then regarding the structure of ovary, each ovary, the length of each ovary is 2 to 4 centimeter, and the ovary is connected to pelvic walls, the abdominal walls of the pelvic region, and also to the uterus by ligaments. You can see that this is the positioning of, these are the oviducts, and this will be the ovary. So this is connected to the pelvic wall and also to the uterus. Okay, and the connections are with the help of ligaments. Then inside each ovary, you can see that the structure of units are there, and these units are called ovarian follicles. Suppose this is ovary, inside which large numbers of follicles are present, and these follicles are called ovarian follicles. And these ovarian follicles contain the immature ovum. Immature ovum is present inside these follicles. There can be primary follicle, secondary follicle, tertiary follicle, and a fully mature follicle called a Graafian follicle. Anyway, the follicles are present inside the ovary. And each ovary is covered by an epithelium and contains a matrix. The covering is made up of an epithelium, and inside the ovary there is a matrix. And it is within this matrix that the ovarian follicles are held. And the matrix is differentiated into an outer part called the cortical region and an inner part called the medullary region. The outer part of the cortex is called, outer part of the ovarian stroma is called cortical region, and the inner part, the central part, is called medullary region. So the central substance in the ovary is called ovarian stroma, that is covered over by an epithelial membrane. Okay, this is the structure of ovary. The next prime point is the duct that is coming from the testis. They are the gonoducts in males, or testicular ducts. You know that the testis is producing sperm, and the sperms are transported through specific ducts. We can see the ducts, accessory ducts in male include reti testis, vasa efferentia, epididymis, vas deferens, and ejaculatory duct. So these are the, suppose this is the testis, and inside this testis seminiferous tubules are there, and very minute tubes are developing from the seminiferous tubules, and these tubules are called reti testis. And numerous reti testis combine together forming another tubule. The tubule is called vasa efferentia. So called vasa efferentia. And the vasa efferentia combine together into a coiled structure, and this coiled structure is called epididymis. And from the epididymis, an elongated tube develops, and that is the main sperm duct. This is called vas deferens. And the vas deferens joins with the duct coming from the glands, the vesicular duct, and forming a common duct. That duct is called ejaculatory duct. So the accessory ducts are reti testis, then vasa efferentia, then epididymis, then vas deferens, then ejaculatory duct. These are the accessory ducts. You can see seminiferous tubules open into reti testis, in which in their turn connected to vasa efferentia. Vasa efferentia open into epididymis, which lead to vas deferens. Vas deferens open into urethra along with a duct from the seminal vesicle called the ejaculatory duct. It fuses with the seminal vesicle duct, forming the ejaculatory duct. Ejaculatory duct opens into urethra. So urethra is starting from the urinary bladder, and which extends through the penis and opens out by an opening. The opening is called urethral meatus. Okay, so these are the duct system present inside, associated with the testis. Next prime point is the gonoducts in females, and these ducts are collectively called oviducts or fallopian tubes. Oviducts or fallopian tube extend from ovary to the uterus, and each fallopian tube has a length of 10 to 12 centimeter. Suppose this is the ovary, and there is a duct developing near the ovary. The duct is called oviduct, and oviduct of two sides open into what is called uterus. Okay, so here you can see that the oviduct opens near the ovary by means of an opening. That opening has the finger-like outgrowths. The funnel-shaped part of the oviduct seen near the ovary is called infundibulum. So this is the infundibulum. Infundibulum has some funnel finger-like projections, and these finger-like projections are called fimbriae. And the function of fimbriae is to collect ovum during the time of ovulation. Then the infundibulum opens into a wide funnel-like structure. The structure is called ampulla. Then there is a tubular part. The tubular part is called isthmus. The isthmus of two sides are combined together, forming what is called uterus. This is the uterus. The uterus has highly thickened walls. Uterus has highly thickened walls, muscular walls. So it has an outer layer. The outer layer is called perimetrium. Inner layer, that inner layer is called endometrium. In between perimetrium and endometrium, there is a muscular region. The region is called myometrium. So the uterine wall is three-layered or triple-layered: perimetrium, myometrium, endometrium. And the uterus is produced by combining two isthmus, right isthmus and left isthmus. Okay. The funnel-shaped part of the oviduct seen near the ovary is called infundibulum, with finger-like projections called fimbriae. Infundibulum leads to the ampulla, then to the isthmus, which enters into the uterus. The uterine wall consists of external perimetrium, middle myometrium, and internal endometrium. Uterus opens into vaginal canal. Here you can see that uterus opens into the vaginal canal by means of an opening. That opening is called cervix. It is called cervix, and the cervix leads to vaginal canal. The cervical canal and the vaginal canal is collectively called birth canal. So these are the regions associated with the fallopian tube or oviduct. The next prime point regarding the accessory reproductive glands in males. The accessory glands in males. So in males there are three major glands. One is called seminal vesicle, other one is called prostate gland, the third one is called bulbourethral gland. Here seminal vesicle are paired. Okay. Bulbourethral are also paired, but prostate is unpaired. So the unpaired reproductive gland in male is prostate, but seminal vesicle is paired, bulbourethral glands are also paired. So this is the condition. The secretions of these glands form what is called seminal plasma, which provide nutrition and act as a medium for motility to the sperms. the secretions of seminal vesicle and prostate gland. The secretions of bulbourethral glands are used for lubrication of the penis. The seminal plasma from accessory glands and the sperm from testes combine forming the reproductive fluid of the male, that is called semen. So semen is the union of seminal plasma from glands and sperm from testes. Next one, in females, there are so many minor associated glands in the reproductive system, and in your textbook there is a detailed description of mammary glands. Mammary glands, as you know, they are the milk producing glands, and here each mammary gland contains 15 to 20 chambers, and these chambers are called mammary lobes. And inside each lobe, large numbers of minute chambers are there, and these chambers are called mammary alveoli, where milk is actually secreted. So milk producing center of a mammary gland is mammary alveoli. Then from the alveoli, the milk is transported through specific duct. There is a duct system. The alveoli opens into mammary tubules. So mammary alveoli, where milk is produced, then the milk is transported from mammary alveoli to mammary tubules. Then from mammary tubules, a number of mammary tubules connect forming a duct. The duct is called mammary duct. Large numbers of mammary duct opens into a wide chamber. The chamber is called mammary ampulla. Then from the mammary ampulla, a duct that opens out, the duct is called lactiferous duct. So the duct system inside each mammary gland will be mammary alveoli, mammary tubules, mammary duct, mammary ampulla, and lactiferous duct. So you have to remember this duct system. Okay. Many mammary ducts constitute the mammary ampulla, which is connected to lactiferous duct. Lactiferous duct carry milk to the outside. Now the next point is external genitalia in males. In males, the external genitalia consists of a single structure called penis. That is made up of bundles of spongy tissue and erectile tissues. And the function of penis is to help in the process of insemination. What is insemination? Insemination means the transfer of sperms inside the reproductive tract of the female. Here, the penis consists of an enlarged tip. The enlarged tip of the penis is called glans penis. The urethra comes along the penis and opens at the tip by means of urethral meatus. Okay? And the glans penis is covered over by a loose fold of skin, and that is called prepuce, otherwise called foreskin. So penis is the external genital part of the male, and the enlarged tip is called glans penis. It is called glans penis. Glans penis is covered over by membrane. That membrane is called foreskin. It's called foreskin. This is the external reproductive system or external genitalia of males. The last prime point in this session, the external genitalia of females. We already studied that the external genitalia of males is penis, but in females, 5 important regions are there: mons pubis, labia majora, labia minora, hymen, and clitoris. External genital parts are associated with the vaginal opening. Suppose this is the vaginal opening. So vaginal opening. So there is a thin membranous shield covering the vaginal opening. That membranous shield is called hymen. It's called hymen. It's a partial covering. Then 2 skin folds are there. Minor skin folds are there, and major skin folds are there. So this is vagina. Inside the vagina there is a partial membranous covering called hymen. The inner skin fold is called labia minora. The outer skin fold is called labia majora. So at the upper junction of labia minora, there is a small finger-like erectile structure. That structure is called clitoris. Then on the upper part, there is a soft cushion-like structure where pubic hair is present, that part is called mons pubis. So these are the 5 components of external genital parts in females. Mons pubis, the fatty tissue covered by skin and pubic hair. Labia majora, the larger skin fold that surround vagina. Labia minora, the smaller skin folds beneath the labia majora, inner to labia majora. Then hymen, the thin membranous shield within vaginal canal. Then clitoris, the finger-like erectile part at the upper junction of labia minora. So these points are relating to the structure of male and female reproductive system. The functions of this system, these components can be studied in the next part. Okay, thank you.